Hey, welcome back to my channel Duct Tape Mechanic. In this video I'm going to show you how to fix a GE washing machine that's leaving your clothes absolutely damp at the end of the cycle. So if you find this video to be helpful, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more DIY and tinkering videos. Here is the washing machine in question. This video is going to be pretty much applicable to any sort of GE top load washing machine that's been sold in the last 10 years or so. They're pretty much all the same. And Hotpoint as well, I forgot to mention, which is just a rebrand of GE. If you're really curious, that is the model number to this particular one. But like I said, regardless of whether yours has 4 knobs, 3 knobs, you name it, they're all pretty much the same. So basically what's happening is you've loaded up your clothes and you've selected whatever different washing selections you wanted to make. You hit the start and you walk away basically, and you hear that the water is being added and your clothes are actually being washed and agitated, and everything seems to be running fine. But when you come back and the washing machine's done with the cycle, you open this up and you notice that your clothes are absolutely damp and dripping with water. Well, what's happening is basically the machine's operating as it should up until the point where it gets to the spin cycle and the machine actually doesn't spin. This is a fairly common issue on this machine, but the unfortunate part to this is that it won't just stop at spin and let you know that there's an error. It'll actually complete the cycle, or look like a completed cycle. So it can be a little bit deceptive of what the issue is. But if you're really curious, what you can do is what I actually do when I get these things in is undo these 2 screws, and that'll take off the striker, and you can just put that into here and actually watch the entire cycle and see if this actually spins. And if it doesn't, then you could. This video is definitely for you, and I can show you the repair to get this thing going in less than 20 minutes of work. So let's get to it. A lot of people ask me how I bypass the lid lock mechanism while I test it. This is how I do it. Now this is only for testing reasons. Don't bypass it and do this as a permanent, fix or a permanent thing on your machine, because it is a safety issue. So this is how I do it. I just take off those 2 screws, pull this down, and then just put this into where the lid would latch down here, like so. And now I can watch the entire cycle and see if it actually spins. Once you've seen that your machine is not actually spinning on that last part of the cycle, to actually resolve this issue, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to put it on its back. To do that, we're going to have to unhook the machine. So that means unplugging it, undoing the drain line, and then undoing the water line as well. Then go ahead and just put it on its back. So once we got the machine on its back, we're going to be removing the belt cover. There's 3 bolts that hold it in. 1, 2, and the 3rd one is down here. And as you can see, right there, there's actually a ground wire attached to it. So when you undo it, the ground wire is also going to be undone. All you got to do is put that back on the bolt when you're done. These are 10mm bolts. Alright, so after you've removed the belt cover, and if you discover that your belt is either shredded or has completely come off, you will need to replace the belt. Now that is a completely different issue, because if your belt has broken, it's not going to actually agitate the clothes. So that's another issue, and I do have an entire video on that. It's actually my most popular video. But there's a good chance that you do take off the belt cover and your belt is indeed broken, because that's a common issue on this machine. And you may have just searched this video on accident, but if that's the case, I will go ahead and link the exact part of this belt, so it should pop up around now in the video, so you can just go ahead and click on that and order your belt and replace that and be on your way. However, if yours is like mine, the belt is completely intact, which makes sense because this washing machine is actually agitating the clothes, our journey continues forward, and we'll actually have to remove the belt. To do that, all we need to do is just slide it right off the transmission pulley. So in the next step, we're going to have to undo these two electrical connectors. So we have one for the RPM sensor and one for the motor. To undo the motor one, I just like to stick a flat blade screwdriver and just kind of give it a turn, and it should pop right out. The RPM one, on the other hand, you will have to push this tab up on the electrical connector. So you see that red tab I pushed up, and then after that you should be able to just take that one off as well, and this should be able to hit the keyword. There it is. And then after that, all we need to do is undo these two bolts right here, 1 and 2 on the bottom, and we should be able to pull out the motor / RPM assembly. Our 13mm bolts. And here we have the drive motor, and right here is the RPM sensor. Now, in order to get to the RPM sensor, we will have to remove the motor pulley, and it is held in with a 15mm socket, or nut I should say, right here. We're going to use a 15mm socket to get it out. Once we get it out, we may have to give it a couple of taps with the back of the impact driver here to get that motor pulley all the way out. If it's jammed, we'll just see. Sometimes they come right out like that one. All right, so here is the RPM sensor. So here is the RPM sensor. To get that out, the best way I found is to get a flat blade screwdriver and just slightly pry it up like so, and it should come right out. Here is the old one, and here is a good RPM sensor. What I'll do is I'll provide a link to this sensor so that you can just click on that. It should pop up around now in the video, so you can just click on that pop-up link and it'll take you to the appropriate website where you can purchase this RPM sensor. And that link will also be found in the description, so you don't have to worry about part numbers or anything like that. Alright, to install it, it's got these tabs, 2 little tabs on the bottom. Those tabs will go over the edge of the motor like so. So I just like to put it like that, and I'll install the tabs first, and then I'll just kind of leave this part up until I know I'm fully installed properly there, and then we just push it down like that, and it should look something like that. So if none of what I said made any sense, here is a close-up picture of what the RPM sensor looks like when it is properly installed in the correct position. Alright, so once we got the RPM sensor installed, what we have to do is we will have to reinstall the motor pulley. So let's just put that on there, push it in, and there's that 15mm nut right there. Once we got the motor pulley on there, all we got to do is just slap it back on. It's pretty much the same steps we took to take it off, except in reverse order. After that, we'll reconnect the motor to the electrical connector right here, and also the RPM sensor to its connector. And just remember to push in the tab after you've got it all connected up. It's probably a better idea to connect the RPM sensor before bolting up the motor. But there we go, and then we'll just put the red tab, which is right here, we'll just push it down like so. Alright, so after that, we're just going to put the belt on. To do that is really simple. First, put it into the grooves of the motor pulley, then onto the transmission pulley. Then you just kind of got to work it back and forth. And finally, don't forget to put the belt cover back on. The bottom screw or the bottom bolt on the belt cover goes through the ground wire before it goes on to the cover. Right, so we're going to come back to our test station. The washer has progressed to the spin cycle, and I'm going to lift up the top, and as you can tell, it is spinning as it should. So all that trouble was caused by this teeny little RPM sensor. And one thing I kind of noticed that before, this spin light was just blinking while it was on here, but you have to be standing next to it to be able to tell that as an issue as well. So if you are standing next to yours while it's having this fault of leaving the clothes damp, check to see if that spin light is blinking. Anyways, that is how you replace the RPM sensor. So if you found this video to be helpful, make sure you hit the thumbs up sign.